The Resource and Environment Board is the IFOA's newest practice board. So the IFOA has practice boards that look after, for example, it has a pensions board for pensions actuaries, life board, general insurance board, risk, finance and investment, all that sort of thing. And now we have a Resource and Environment Board too. Now, in fact, there are very few actuaries working in the resource and environment area directly, though there are some of us. We help them, but we also help all actuaries in whatever area they work on resource and environment issues, because we think that resource and environment issues affect all actuaries and they all need to be aware of them in their work. So that's really what we're here to do, is to support them all in those areas. Resource and environment issues have a huge effect on both obviously the real world, I mean, just how people live and so on, but also on the economic and financial world. And again, because they're long-term, they have long-term effects, and a lot of what actuaries do is looking at the economic and financial effects in the long term. So pensions actuaries, for example, they are looking at investment returns on the pensions investment portfolio in the very long term. Now, if you're just assuming that everything's going to continue as it has been, that you're going to get positive real growth, that that basically your investment return is always going to be inflation plus X%, if something goes horribly wrong, horribly different because of resource and environment issues, then you are going to have missed out on one of the big risks that's operating in that area. So for a lot of areas, life actuaries, pensions actuaries, it's the long-term effects on the economic and financial worlds that are important. We've sponsored some really interesting pieces of research. We've sponsored some research on limits to growth, so how environmental constraints can limit economic growth. And this is a big area because it can have big effects on asset values down the line. We sponsored a really interesting piece of research just recently on environmental sustainability in the financial system, where the big result was that very little people have done any work on this, although a lot of people think that there are likely to be effects. So that's given us some pointers for future work that needs doing. We've got some new research initiatives that might be coming on stream. We are working with the Education Board on making sure that R&E issues are reflected in the new education syllabus properly. We're going to continue getting out, doing events, talking to people. And in the longer term, obviously, we'd like to get more actuaries involved in working on R&E issues as actuaries, rather than involving R&E issues in their pensions or life work or whatever. And we're really helped by that, by the work the IFOA is doing on climate change, all the policy briefings and so on they're doing, which we think is really helping to give actuaries a good name in this space. Well, we do organise a lot of CPD events. We have sessional meetings, 1 or 2 sessional meetings a year. We do have other CPD events, and we nearly always at the big actuarial conferences, the life conferences, JARO, that sort of thing, you'll find at least one, quite often more than that, R&E workshops and plenaries. So we try and get out to as many actuaries as possible. And we're always interested in hearing about new ideas for events that people would find interesting and helpful. So the R&E board has a monthly newsletter. You can sign on to it through the website. It's very easy to do nowadays, and we provide you with lots of useful information and interesting things to think about.